Hi and welcome, my name is Peter Morrissey and today I'm going to walk through a demonstration of the visitor management software. This is a bit of an impromptu demonstration, it's not so much an organised structured demonstration. We're just going to go with the flow as we walk through the program over the next 30 minutes. We'll try and cram in as much as we possibly can. First thing I'm going to do is just log in and let everybody else know on site that I have turned up on site and that I'm now checked into the location. So I'm going to update my status and now advise people that I have arrived on site. This is great for reception or admin or any other person that has permission to search the system to see who's on site. Another example of this might be I'm going to search for Kathy and up comes Kathy. I can see Kathy's here. I can view some details about Kathy. So here's Kathy who's currently off site. I have Kathy's cell number and details. This is an internal search for the company where we can see details about the individual employees, and we'll have another look at searching for Kathy when we move on to the reception tool as well. So just running through a couple of the menu items at the top, we've got a home button which I'll click on now. We've got my visitors. This is for me in my profile. Every person who has access to the system will see my visitors. You will be able to view my pre-registered visitors and you will be able to pre-register a visitor. These are two of the most common things that people do. We have reporting, of course, and in tools we're going to go into locations and user roles. User roles are giving access to the system to different employees in the company, while locations, this is where we set up the individual details around each location. And once we have a look in there, we'll be able to see what's happening at the front end where visitors arrive on site and sign in. We have a help desk that allows you to go and find information around the software in your time when you're ready. You can go in and see some great videos there. You can book an upcoming webinar and you can search simple things like how to install a visitor management visitor pass Dymo label printer, for example. We'll take a look at that when we get over to the help desk. The first thing I'm going to do is pre-register a visitor. So I'll just come to my visitors and pre-register a visitor. There's a few different ways we can do this. This is just one example. I'm selecting today and the visitor I'm saying will come later today. We'll go 4:30 and this visitor is visiting myself. I might make this visitor, I'm actually pre-booking this for another person in the company, so I'll just start to write Kathy and I can see Kathy's name appears as soon as I start to type the letters. The system's very clever in helping define and drill down to individual employees. So Kathy, I'm going to put a message here for admin for when this person signs in. Please send to the projector. There we go, even with typos, projector room. Please send to projector room. And now I'm going to add the visitors. Now when we add visitors, we can add frequent visitors. This is a great way to get people into the system quickly. As your visitor list builds up, you can add a person as a frequent visitor, making your frequent visitor list a list like we can see on the screen now, and I can quickly choose a visitor. I'll say Keith, and now I've added Keith to come to a meeting with Kathy and he's already in the system. I'll just save and close that. We could add another visitor, but I'll just save and close that one for the moment. So now we've got Keith Wilson coming, I've got John coming to see Peter, Keith coming to see Kathy, and we've got a meeting here with a couple of people from Telstra. If I click on these couple of people, if I click on this link here, I can see I've got Jeff Ronning and John Dean, two people coming to see Peter Morrissey regarding the Telstra meeting. So making a group, pre-registered group, is just as easy as we went through just a moment ago with making the booking there for Keith. I'm now going to pre-register another visitor, and this time same day. I'll just choose a time later today. We'll just go for 5 p.m. and the visitor is coming to see myself. I'll put a message here. I won't do a message on this occasion. We'll go straight to adding a visitor. Now I'm going to add a frequent visitor to this meeting, and I'll add Jetson Key, add selected visitor. And now I'm just going to edit, and we can see we've got some other questions here that haven't been defined earlier in the process. Purpose of visit, I'll just go meeting. Assistance required to evacuate, no. Update frequent visitor information, yes. So I'll update the frequent visitor information. And before I save and close, we've added one visitor. Now I'm going to add another visitor. This time it's a visitor, I don't know who they are, so it's going to be Sally Smithson from, I'll make it AMP. And these are questions here that are sample questions that can be asked at your location. Each location can ask different questions. And when we move out to self-registration through a kiosk, each kiosk can ask different questions. So in this case, I'll just put in some details. There's the mobile number. What's the purpose of visit? It was a meeting. Assistance required, no. Sally, I don't think will be back, so I won't make Sally a frequent visitor, and I'll save. Now what we've done is we've got two visitors. As soon as we add a second visitor, we now create a group visit. Automatically the system will be asking, what is the name of this group visit? So I'm going to call this meeting the AMP Telstra meeting. Now when the group arrives, do we want one person to sign the group in or every visitor to sign in? Depending on the size of the group, you'll make a decision here about the best way to manage this. In this instance, I'm going to go for every visitor that signs in, and now I'm going to save and close. And now we have the Telstra meeting with two people, and now the AMP meeting with two people. I'll just click there and we can see it's Jetson Key and Sally Smithson, two individual people who are coming to that meeting. Okay, now we've added some visitors. The next step we can go through is to actually receive those visitors into the system. So I'm going to go home, and we're going to now look at the user role, Location Manager. Location Manager is your receptionist, your lobby manager, your security guard, any person who's front-facing the public and needs to receive visitors into your location. So let's log into the Location Manager profile. You can issue this profile to any person in your business that needs to see the information at this level. So a couple of things I can do as a location manager, and we'll run through them slowly. The first thing I can do is a search. I'll just search here for an employee, and now we will search for Kathy again. I'll just type Kathy and hit enter. We've got Kathy Seeper. You can see now we've got an extra option because on the reception location manager I can sign Kathy in. So I'm going to sign Kathy in. Kathy's square now becomes green. I can see Stephanie is also there, and I might just go that Stephanie will sign in as well, as she's popped up on the screen also. So that's one of the things that we can do when we sign the staff in. And now we're looking at a list of the staff. Here's a full list of the staff, for example. And as an admin person, I could sign people in as they walked in the door. Some people do that, some customers do that. I could also just sign in people by allowing the employees to sign themselves in as I did at the start. So that's a little bit about signing in employees. Okay, let's go back to main reception. And I'll just refresh here. Back to Location Manager. Okay, now I can sign in a visitor who walks in off the street, an unknown visitor, and you will see we have a list of known visitors or people who have been pre-booked. So due now, in the next hour, are 4 people. These people have all been pre-booked into the system. Due tomorrow we have none, this week 4, next week none at this stage, and so on. So as an admin person who's receiving visitors, I can simply click and see who the people are that are coming in later on today. As a reception person seeing this information on pre-registered visitors, I could in advance print the pass, the visitor pass for these people, so that it was sitting there waiting for them to arrive. Now when John turns up, John Smithson from AMP to see Peter Morrissey, if I click on John's name, little pop-up comes down. We have no further details on John. As your database builds up, you could start to gather information like mobile phone numbers, car registration, etc. For different reasons you may need some of that information. We'll just close that for now, and I will sign in John. Now John's just been signed in, and that's all we need to do as a reception person, or a security guard, gatehouse, because by signing in John, automatically I have been sent a message, SMS or email, to alert me to the fact that John has arrived, and I can go down as the host and I can find John. So now I've got Keith Wilson, who's coming in to see Kathy Sieper from McDonald Printing. There's a message here. I'll click on that message, please send to the projector room. So when Keith comes up to me, I can see this message. Keith will say, hi, I'm Keith Wilson, I'm here to see Kathy Sieper. I can see the message and say, thank you Keith, I just need you to go to the projector room, I'll show you the way, and I'll sign Keith in. And so now Keith's been signed into the system. Now as we continue to sign more people into the location, one of the things that people want to do is know who's on location right now. One of the ways to find out who's on location right now is simply to click the sign out button. I'll just click that now, and we can see right now on location the two people we've signed in so far, John Smithson and Keith Wilson, are the two people who have been signed in and are on location. We can see they've received email and SMS notifications to the host. We can see who the host is. If I click on Kathy, up comes Kathy's profile. I could give Kathy a call if I needed to, based on seeing those details there, if I needed to catch up with Kathy regarding the visit with Keith. You can change the columns here, just one of the things you can do throughout the program on just about every screen where the View Columns button is associated. If I drop down, I might want to include mobile phone numbers. So as I add these columns, the columns will start to appear. Car parking, vehicle registration. If vehicle registration was collected, we can turn these columns on. You may or may not need these questions asked when a visitor arrives at your site, but if you do, then you can open up these columns with the data that you've collected. I'll just turn the vehicle registration back off. Another popular one is what's the area or location that the person has signed in, and in this case it's main reception. They've both signed in through main reception. As we start to move to kiosks, which can be spread throughout larger locations, you could have 3, 4, 5, 6 kiosks on one location that are tracking people moving throughout buildings, and these kiosks can be named so that we can see at which entry point people are, or at which location within a building people are throughout the business. So we'll just leave that one there for the moment. Going back to the location manager, we've still got a couple more people to check in. We'll just do some more examples here, and now we've got a meeting with 2 people involved. If I click on the link, we can see Jeff and John. These are the people that are coming for this meeting. There's a message here, please send to the engineering department. Great, so we'll send them to the engineering department as soon as they come in. And now I'm going to sign these 2 men in. So sign in, Jeff and John, we can see them there. I can print their passes if I haven't already done that, or we can print the passes now. I'm now going to sign in Jeff, and I'm going to sign in John. So both of those people are now signed in. And I'll close. And when we go to the sign out, we can now see we've got 4 people signed in. Jeff and John from Telstra, who are here to see Peter Morrissey, have also been signed in. Now we can start to sign people out. Visitors can sign themselves out by simply going to the kiosk reception and checking themselves out. Or a receptionist, as we are now, can check them out. I could walk out saying, hi, I'm John, thank you, I'm signing out now. My host, Peter Morrissey, has told me I need to go to reception on the way out to make sure that I sign out correctly for our HR procedures and to make sure we know who's on location at any one time. So I'm going to sign out John, and it's simple as clicking sign out. And we've got a record now that John has been on site today. Between the time he checked in to the time he left, we know who he was visiting, and we can report on any of that information anytime in the future. A little bit more about, just go back to Location Manager. So far we've signed in a visitor, we've signed in a group, we've created some group visits, and actually I don't think I actually signed somebody in off the street, so I'll just do that now. We'll just go through that process. So here's an example of signing in somebody from scratch. I'll make this Scott and Cam. Now notice that Scott's name has come up, but as I searched Scott's name, no other names come up with Scott. I'll just give you an example of how we can search repeat visitors, and I'll type in JAR, and as I'm typing in, it comes up and says, is it Jared Moore from Vodafone, visited last on the 8th of the 5th 2014? And I go, yes, actually it is Jared. It automatically populates the field Vodafone. Are you visiting someone? Yes. It automatically populates who you last visited. So now the reception person could say, are you here to see Kathy? Or the person, Jared, may have already said, yes, I'm here to see Kathy. We can put in the cell phone numbers. We just put in the cell phone numbers. What's the purpose of the visit? It's a meeting, and we go next. Do you need assistance to evacuate in the event of an emergency? This is a great question to ask visitors, even if you can see that it doesn't appear that they would need assistance to evacuate in the event of an emergency. We don't need to see physical disability of any type to know that a person needs assistance. Often people may need assistance to evacuate in the event of an emergency, and it may not be obvious to you. So it's a great question to ask of the visitor. We'll go no for this case. If we said yes, it will put a red cross. Actually, I'll say yes on this one so we can show the red cross. It puts a red cross against the person to indicate with any of our reports in the system that in the event of an emergency, this person would need assistance. I'll just go next. Are you in the car park? And this time I'll say yes. Enter the vehicle registration number, and I'll sign in. So I've just signed in Jared Moore. I could print the visitor pass if I wanted to, or close this message. I'll close this message, but of course you would normally print that visitor pass. Now if we go to the sign out screen, we can see that our list of people on site is growing, and here's Jared, who's just come in, and through that process has indicated that they may need assistance to evacuate in the event of an emergency. So that's why our red cross appears against Jared's name on any reports in the system that we run, whether it's on the PC here as we're looking at it today, or whether it's through an iPad outside of the building in the event of an actual situation. Let's go back to Location Manager. So far we've covered signing in, signing out a person, we've searched for some staff, we've entered some people who are pre-registered. There's a few more things we can do on the screen here. As a location manager, a couple of things I haven't explained. We are the location manager at head office. We could be the location manager at any other location around the world. We would only see the data relevant to our location. At head office, we have a number of access points throughout the building where we have additional kiosks. And these are the additional kiosks. We're working out of main reception, where security gate might be working from the security gate, and this way we get to track information at a very detailed level as people move through your building. We'll just go back to main reception. Let's just go over and have a look at the on-site summary now. So I'll click on the on-site summary, and here we can see visitors on site now 4. Visitors that would require assistance to evacuate this location 1. Employees on site, visitors due today, visitors in car park. So we can view all of those people as well. That's just an example of a snapshot report that we can pull at any time. I'll just close that for now. So the location manager, there's quite a bit a location manager can do through that process. Now, one more part of checking in and checking out before we move on to the back end of the system as well as the reporting is the kiosks. So I just want to go to the kiosk now and show you some examples of how the kiosk can be used. So here we have a kiosk, and you can see of course that we use a pretty bold image here. You can create a kiosk image for your kiosk to make it stand out for your visitors. You can have multiple kiosks throughout your location and unlimited kiosks throughout your locations. And I'm going to go through and show some examples now of people signing in. So the first person I'm going to sign in as, actually just before I do that I need to sign a few people out, just bear with me as part of the demonstration. So I'll just go sign out and make sure that a couple of people, Jared I'm going to sign out because we'll sign Jared out through the kiosk. I might also sign out Keith Wilson, we'll sign Keith out as well. And now I'm going to go back to the kiosk and we'll sign in Jared first of all. So it's asking me to scan my visitor pass if I have one. That will give me fast access. Or I'm just going to write Jared Moore and go next. The software will recognize I've been before and go, am I Jared Moore from Vodafone? Sign in. Here's the details. I'm visiting Kathy from a previous appointment. I can edit this and change it to another person, but if I'm visiting Kathy again, all my details stay here. The purpose of the visit is a meeting. Do I need assistance off the site? It's remembered from last time. I'm parked in the car park and here's my registration vehicle. So this is allowing a repeat visitor to come into the location very quickly. Let's proceed. We get a welcome message now. Jared Moore, your host Kathy Sieper, has been notified of your arrival via SMS, and if we had email turned on, that can be SMS and or email. A message that you create for the situation, for the kiosk, where you can give some information to the visitor based on the location. I'll click to complete. Now let's sign in as somebody that's never been before. So I'm now going to sign in as Grace Everstone. Next. And Grace has never been before, so now we're going to get a series of questions. Where are you from? Who are you visiting? And then some other questions that are questions that you can decide whether you turn them on or turn them off. So where am I from? I'm Grace Everstone and I'm from Clothing Not Very Original. Are you visiting someone today? Yes. Who are you visiting? And as I start to type names, the system of course starts to diminish down the list of people available. What's your mobile phone number? Remember, this is an optional question. You don't have to have this question, but we have it turned on, and we also have it turned on and we're forcing the answer. So we have many customers that need or want the mobile number of the person arriving as a visitor, whether it's for car parking, whether it's just for general safety. They want the mobile phone number, whether it's for security. There's a whole lot of reasons why we would want that mobile phone number. So I'll just put in the phone number. Okay, purpose of visit, and you can create these purpose of visits. Of course, these are just 3 examples: delivery, meeting, service and maintenance. You can create as many of these purpose of visits that you need for your location. I'll just go meeting, and for your kiosk for that matter. Do I need assistance to evacuate? No. I'll go next. Am I parked in the car park? No. And next. And there's a summary of the details, and I'll go proceed. And now Grace is registered in the system. So there's 2 examples, one with a known visitor where the process is much quicker, and one with an unknown visitor where the process is much slower, because the visitor has to put in a bit more detail the very first time. But as soon as that visitor comes back a second time, the information will speed up significantly. Okay, let's just go back into the software, and we'll now take a bit of a look at the back end of the system. So we'll just go home first of all. I'll run Location Manager. I'll just go back to Location Manager and we'll sign out, and we'll see we've got a whole host of people. Grace Everstone and Jared Moore have just come back in, and there's a whole heap of people here. I'm just going to sign all of these people out now to wrap up the Location Manager preview before we move into the back end of the system. So I've just signed all of those visitors out. Now we're moving on to Tools and Locations and User Roles. The first one I'll touch on is User Roles, so we'll click on User Roles first. User roles give you the ability to give permission to employees to have access to the system. So here's an employee, Corey, the title is Sales, currently no assigned user roles. Let's manage the roles for Corey, and I have some options here of account owner, administrator, report user and location manager. As more modules come onto the system, including contractor manager and induction management, those modules will be available to be shared also. I'm going to make Corey a reports and location manager. I'll assign those roles. And now when Corey logs in, Corey will be able to see the reports module and will be able to act as a reception or security guard in the location manager profile. Okay, moving on to locations, and now we're going to have a close look at the back end of the system. So you can have as many locations as you want. We're using head office here as an example. You can have locations like many of our customers all over the world. Once you've set up your first location, adding a new location is just a matter of clicking this link and filling in the details to add your next location. There is no limit to the amount of locations you can have in the system. Let's go and take a look at head office. That's the location we've got some data in for the purpose of this demonstration. We have some basic information regarding time zones, which is very important. You can have locations all over the world in different time zones. We want to make sure we record the details of the people checking in and checking out in the right time zone. Location settings, there's a couple of things here. This is where we can set up departments. I'm not going to, because of time, go through all of these detailed. I'll just explain them on the surface, and you can explore that further with our 30-day trial, which I'll put some details up for at the end of this demonstration. So you can set up your departments to assign to employees. Local access control points, this allows you to set up kiosks, assign them to local access control points for reporting purposes. We can auto sign out visitors, auto sign out employees. Some customers like to use that feature. Other customers enforce the employees and the visitors signing out the correct way. Location manager returning visitor search, this is making it easier for reception. We normally set this to about 90 days is more than enough, and I'll just save that. Employees, we can import the employees via an import routine. We give you the ability to do that, or we can add employees one at a time. So through the add employee feature, we can add one employee at a time or bring them in bulk via spreadsheets. You can see here we've got the employees who are currently clocked in and currently clocked out. Visitor kiosks. Now kiosks, you can have as many kiosks at each location. We've been working on the head office kiosk. I'll just go in and take a look here. You can brand the kiosk. So first of all, we set up some details. Is it a standard PC? Is it a touch screen? Is it an iPad? What type of kiosk is this kiosk? And then we can brand the kiosk. So we go to the kiosk branding. There's our image of the bear in the water. Very bold and very powerful. You can simply upload a background image. And that's what we've done there to create that powerful statement on our visitor management kiosk. For your visitors. You might have a corporate image of your building, which we've seen customers do. We had a farming community last week who were doing farming, who had an image of the crops on the front screen. You can create any image that you like to create. I'll just go back to kiosks. A couple of examples. We've created a sporting kiosk, so we'll just view that just to show you a couple of other images and the branding. And here's an image of some guys playing basketball. We might know some of them. And this is about the power of the image. It can be whatever image you want that to be. That makes your kiosk look very powerful to your visitors. Okay, back to kiosks. Once the kiosks are set up, we then can check out the visitor notification alerts. This is a global setting. Do I want my employees to receive emails when a visitor arrives? Yes. Do I want my employees to receive SMS text messages? Yes. This is a global setting we must first turn on, and then against the individual employee you can then decide if they actually get to see the SMS message. We have many companies where there might be 800 staff, but only half a dozen of those staff are actually receiving SMS messages. The remainder of the staff are receiving email notices. Visitor passes. Visitor passes are pretty easy to create. You upload your logo, and then we just tick the boxes relative to the information that you'd like to keep on your visitor pass, and you can see as I'm ticking these boxes that the pass is being created, and you can have as little or as much as you need on your visitor pass. The visitor questionnaire, just a series of questions that you can activate in the system. Mobile phone is a very popular one to activate, and in some cases you may find it's required. You might have one location where you're activating the mobile device, but you're not enforcing the collection of that mobile phone number, but on another location in your business you may activate and make the option of collecting a mobile phone required. So there's quite a few questions there that we can set up to gather more information from the visitor as they arrive. Welcome greetings, just to wrap up before we go to reports. We're right on that 30 minutes. The welcome greetings you create yourself with your information that's relative to your business. These are just some examples, and you can choose which of these greetings appears on your kiosk. So that gives you the flexibility to have different messages on different kiosks in the same building. I'll go back to location list, and that's a fast walkthrough of the locations. Now going to just wrap up with reporting, and when we go to reporting we get to build up a nice database of information regarding the reports. We have our nice graphic information which we can see here as we hold our mouse on the device. We start to see the information around the visitors, and the graphics are very nice. Now I'm going to go and have a look at this month to date. Show me a list of people this month to date who are visitors. I'll click show report, and now we've got a report that we can take out via CSV and do more with as we export the data. So this is just an example of all the people who came onto location, how many minutes they were on location, who they were visiting, etc. And we can export this information by simply checking the export box. That pretty much wraps up the visitor management demonstration today. I'd like to thank you for that 30 minutes. It was pretty fast. We've got through as much as possible with the system in 30 minutes. I know we haven't got through it all, but hopefully that 30 minutes will give you a great feel for the capabilities of the system. And at the end of this, I'll give you the details on where you can sign up for a 30-day trial, or give us a call and we'll assist you with setting up that 30-day trial. Thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of the day.